Hey everyone, what's up? Glad you came back, hopefully. You're not gonna say hi, Jacob?
What's up? Hi, Jacob. No, hey, welcome back to Don't You Know, the official podcast for rules you should know.
You should know. That sounds funny. We should add that into our little opening.
I just did.
Well, I mean, like, into our music that I hope you guys liked.
Remix it.
Remix, what? So, I struggled a little bit with what our topic should be today.
Did you?
Yeah, we were going to have a guest. I figured it'd be better for us to have our guest our next episode, so keep an eye out for that. That's going to be our very special guest, and they're going to be very special.
Episode 4?
That will be, let's see, episode...
This is episode 3.
No, this is episode 4.
This is episode 4, okay.
So that will be episode 5. Ooh, and that will be when we get our Spotify as well. We'll be on Spotify after that, once we upload our 5th episode.
That'll be a bonus. Big bonus.
Yeah, so there'll be our special guest because they'll be our first guest, and then they'll be our special guest because that'll be our episode that will be able to go onto Spotify.
It's a whole hand.
Woohoo, everyone! So, big things, okay.
Or it's a V if you're Roman. Just 2 fingers.
They can't see that. Also, we will probably be posting a picture, possibly, of that episode. So check out our Twitter. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Like I was saying, I struggled a little bit with what our topic should be. I have lots of options here. And don't forget to send us an email or a tweet about different subjects that you want us to talk about.
Yeah, or just comment wherever you're listening. Just, we'll get it. We'll hear you.
Just let it. We check everything. So I figured we'll go with something that was one of the first topics that we were kind of talking about when we were discussing about doing this podcast. And I figured it'd be a good one with Jacob being a guy.
I am.
With Jacob being a guy and me being a girl. So, we're gonna do Don't You Know for public bathrooms.
Fair enough. Okay. Now, I think a lot of these are like, this is something that, like, little kids do. So, like, we should all, just like use the rest. Like, this is a universal experience. There are things that everybody should know about this.
And I think probably a lot of these, Don't You Know will probably be more preferences. Personal ones.
Probably.
You know, some people might be the same. Some people might be nodding their head saying, yes, I agree with that. You gotta listen to find out.
We'll see how the cookies crumble.
I feel like I usually go first. So why don't you go first this time? Or do you want a little bit of time more to think about?
No, I got one. I'll open it up with like the age-old argument. Toilet seat up or toilet seat down?
Ooh, that's such a good one. I didn't even write that in my notes, but I did talk about that with someone. I think it was my brother recently. Yeah, we were talking about that because he always leaves the toilet seat up. He's used to living with guys.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Now he lives with basically all girls, other than my uncle. But my uncle uses his own personal bathroom.
So you don't know what he does. He's a non-consenter.
So he always leaves the seat up. I personally could care less if the guy lifts the seat when he uses the restroom, but he needs to put it back down. Now, if you pee on the seat, well, then of course you have to lift the seat up and pee.
Yeah, like you shouldn't do that.
Or if you at least clean up after yourself. I don't care if you lift the seat or not. I care if you don't put the seat back down.
I think that your toilet has a lid on the very top that covers everything, so you don't have to look at it. I think that should be down after anybody's done using it, preferably before you flush. Because there's a lid. Put a lid on it. Nobody wants to see that. Let's just close it. That's why it's there.
I don't even think about that. That seat's up. That's always up here.
Because you're nasty.
I don't quite remember yours being down every time I went to your house.
No, it usually is. Joelle and I have always done that. It's just like, yeah, just put it down. I've done that since in high school. I think that's the way to do it. This is me speaking out in the world. Just close it, then flush it, and don't look at it.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And also prevents from the toilet water splashing up onto the seat.
I don't want to have to know about that. Just leave that. Put a lid on it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good one. Yeah. But what about when you pee? Do you lift the seat up?
Yeah, I do. I lift it all the way up. I lift both up because I've opened the lid. So I just grabbed to open the lid and I grabbed the seat with it. Now I am a single bachelor, by the way.
And you're already trained. Hey, ladies, he's already trained.
Hey, you know it.
And he even puts the covers down. Come on.
And I can bake blueberry muffins.
You never made me any blueberry muffins.
And I was making some like 2 weeks ago. They were pretty good too.
And he knows how to make this crock-pot chicken recipe that is great.
The chicken dish?
He taught me. Yeah, and he taught me, and my whole family loves it, and they're constantly telling me to make it.
It's legendary. It's now known on both coasts of the United States.
So come on, ladies. His number is...
Don't dox me, please.
I'll write it on the stall.
Yeah, there you go. For a good time.
Oh, bathroom joke.
Yeah, right. That was pretty good.
Okay, so I guess that's don't you know you're supposed to put Jacob's number on the stall?
Yeah, of course. One of my burner phones, at least. Let's see. Depends on which location it is. Depends on which phone it goes to. This is my level 3 phone. This is my level 1 phone. I'm gonna answer this one. I was gonna say, speaking of legendary dishes, I've got a new pulled pork dish. It's like you get a pork shoulder, pork butt, drop it in a crock pot, put some different stuff in there, make your own little barbecue sauce, pretty much. I got it out of a little recipe book. And, it's pretty tasty. Put it on those little Hawaiian rolls, and, yeah. I could probably put that recipe in the description or something. Maybe we'll tweet it out.
Whoa,
I'll have to see how that goes. It's tasty. It's really good.
You'll have to make it when I come see you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I don't know when I'll come see you. Probably, I'm still thinking maybe Bearstock. They're going to have a good band. If not, I don't know. I don't really want to come. I don't know if I want to come for DragonCon, because that's just... It'd be cheaper if we just kind of hang out, no?
Yeah. Yeah, DragonCon can get pricey, but if you save for it, you save for it.
Yeah. So, I figured... I don't particularly want to come during the summer, because it sucks down there in the summer.
It's not too bad. It is humid. It's way more humid than the West Coast.
Exactly. It's not, like, humid really at all, other than, like, maybe 2 or 3 weeks of the year total. Okay. So, let's do another one!
Alright, what you got?
So this one is a girl kind of thing. Don't you know that you shouldn't stand in front of the sink fixing your makeup or doing your hair when there's someone else trying to use the sink?
Yeah, it's kind of rude.
I feel like, I don't know, maybe you guys have that problem with maybe a guy standing in front of it fixing up his hair?
No, not really. Usually we just kind of go quick. Most don't even use soap.
This is why, one of the reasons why we have such long lines is because girls gotta sit there in front of this, like, you're like, what's taking them so long? It's not only girls, like, gossiping in the bathroom, but it's also girls fixing their makeup in front of the sink. And it's like, step over just a little bit. There's a little bit of counter right here. Just step over there and I can wash my hands so I can leave. Yeah,
for real. The gossip isn't slowing them down. Y'all do that naturally. You don't even have to think about it. That honestly speeds up the process.
And then, sometimes we actually have couches in our bathrooms. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes there's couches in our bathroom.
I've never gone into the bathroom with a couch. Guys don't want to hang out in there. Imagine you walk in and there's a guy just sitting on a couch. He's like, hey, he's watching you wash his hands. I'd be a little uncomfortable. Like, I mean, maybe you're into that, but I'd be uncomfortable. Outside the bathroom, yeah, sure, that's fine. But, like, there has to be a door in between the couch and the bathroom. For sure. 100%.
Yeah. Actually, like, a lot of my don't do for the bathroom is, like, evolving talking.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you know you shouldn't go into the bathroom and talk on the phone? To me, it's just, like, so awkward. One, I don't want to be talking to someone who's in the bathroom on the phone.
No, because you always know. You hear the echo. You always know.
I know, it's...
You're where I think you are.
Yeah. Even my mom, like, a lot of times call me right when I'm about to use the restroom, and I'm like, oh. She's like, why are you always so upset when I call you? And I'm like, because I have to go use the restroom, and I'm not going to talk to you while I'm on the toilet. But then it's, like, super awkward when you're that one person there in the in the bathroom talking on the phone? You're like, I'm trying to pee. I don't want whoever else is on the phone to hear me peeing too.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. For me, it's like, I just want to be, like, left alone. Like, I don't want to hear it. Maybe while washing the hands is, like, an acknowledgement, like, hey, how are you, or something. It's like, yeah, we happen to be using the restroom at the same time.
I don't like people talking to me while I'm inside the stall either.
Of course not.
I have sometimes they're like, oh, hey, Raquel. I'm like, hey.
Hey, thanks.
I have, what is it, shy bladder, so don't talk to me when I'm trying to pee. I won't be able to pee. Like, it's already, like, bad enough that, like, you're in here. I'm gonna struggle a little bit.
That's funny. I've got one. So here's one for people who design these places. If you have to stand inside the toilet to open the stall, you should not have set the door to be that direction. You know what I mean? You should install it the other direction. Because where am I supposed to go? I can't open this door. This is crazy talk.
I know, that happens. And, it took me the longest. There's 3 stalls in the bathroom at work. And I usually use the first one. The last one is the handicap one, so there's no problem. And then the middle one, anytime I have to use that one because someone else is in, someone else is in the first one, then I'll go into the third one. But the few times that I've had to use the second one because there's something wrong with the first one, I've always noticed that I struggle to get out. And the reason why, it took me forever, the reason why is because even though they all swing in, the second stall, the door is longer. So it swings in even farther. So I was like, why in the world is it so hard to get out of this stall? And when I finally looked at them, I was like, wait a second, this door is longer. This is why it goes farther in then. But I always hated that. It's like, especially when you're at the mall, and you have all your bags, it's like, I can't get out. Someone's gonna have to hold my bags.
I've got something peculiar. So I don't think this is a rule, but when I go to use a public restroom, I look at, or a restaurant at the office, I'll look at, which stall do I think is the least convenient? And so, for some places, it'll be okay, so most people are probably going to want to take the big one. There's, 2 that are kind of a half stall and one that's, a big stall for, handicap. Most people are going to use that one if they've got a choice of all 3, because that's the big one. You got more space. So I will use, so that's probably the most used one. So it's getting the most people sitting on it, the most flushes, the most toilet paper being used, the most dirtiness and stuff being used. I don't want to use that one. So the second one that's going to be used is probably, so somebody's on that, so somebody else wants to go to the little stall that's furthest away. So I think that the least used one is the middle one. So sometimes if I'm in a restroom and I know that it's going to be alone, now it's a risk because I don't want somebody coming in, I'll take the middle one because I think that's the cleanest one.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
And sometimes there's one I have that has the latch is a little messed up. You have to lift the door a little bit to get the latch to close. And I know that one's a pain in the butt to close. I'll take that one every time because I'll bet nobody uses it.
This is true because some people just think it's broken. They won't even bother trying to lift it.
Yeah, they just use the big one.
It's funny because at my work there's 3 stalls and I like the first one, and then I have 2 other co-workers because so there's me and 2 other girls. We're actually co-workers. We're from the same company. But we're contractors. And so we were in the company that has hired our company as contractors. So we're the ones that are on the floor because we have 3 different floors. And we're mainly the only ones on there. Other people come and go and they work on that floor, so they'll use the bathroom too. But we're the ones that mainly use that bathroom. And so I use the first one. My other coworker uses the second, and then the last one uses the third one. We all have set stalls that we.
You got your names engraved in the door.
And this was something that we just kind of did naturally. It wasn't something we discussed. We just kind of all noticed that those are the stalls we prefer. We like those stalls.
That's funny.
And so it's kind of like a unsaid thing and a lot of times if someone ends up using that stall, we're like, oh, I know who that is. But we also kind of have this unsaid rule where if one of us has gone to use the restroom, we don't go until they come back. So we won't go at the same time into the restroom. We just let that be that moment.
That's I've seen it's a joke that girls supposedly will all go to the bathroom at the same time. If you're at a double date or a triple date or something, and then a girl will go, all 3 girls would go at once. They'll grab their clutches or their purses and go. That's kind of a meme. I've heard that, like, the reasoning is, like, if there's a break in the conversation, like, oh, here, we're not going to talk about anything fun or really good. We're going to wait for everybody to come back. So all the girls go at once because they don't want to miss out on that or, like, waste time, you know?
That is actually kind of true. Like, it's not, now that you mention it, I think about it, and that is true. You will be like, oh, if someone else says they're going to go to the restaurant, then you'll go with them.
That's more friends. You're talking work with the previous thing, though.
Like in a group, like when you're in a group with people and like one person wants to go, you'll go too, because it's like, okay, that's a perfect time for me to use the restroom because I know someone else will be using it. So you know you won't be missing out on anything. Mm-hmm. However, at work, it's different because we go in there basically kind of to get somewhat of a break from our work.
Yeah, to get away from each other.
Yeah, so it like not necessarily away from each other, but just kind of like, oh, I'm done scanning. Let me go use the restroom for a little bit, and that's just kind of like our almost like our break, but not really our
Angry
break.
Birds a little bit.
So it's like we all kind of recognize that, which is why we don't like go at the same time, because then it's that awkward. Like I'm not using the restroom for that reason. I'm just using the restroom to just sitting here for a little bit because I don't want to go yet.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I guess, but yeah, for the most part. Don't you know, girls go to the restroom in groups. So I have one. This has only happened a couple of times, but it's happened enough where it is awkward. And it should be a don't you know, don't you know.
Okay.
So, don't you know that, okay, let's keep to the 3-stall thing. So, don't you know, if you go into the first stall, someone's already in the second stall, and your friend goes into the third stall, you don't continue talking to each other.
Oh, yeah, just like across the person in the middle? Yeah, no way.
Yeah, that's so awkward. And that's happened a couple of times. It doesn't happen very, very often for me, but it's happened a couple of times, and I'm kind of like, now I definitely can't be. It feels super awkward with you two talking like, not really at me, but your voice is projecting towards my way. It's weird.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's definitely a little weird. I got one. This is probably spoken. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Just do it. Just throw a little water on it.
Yeah, if it says employees must wash their hands, it doesn't mean that you don't have to. Okay, so I don't know if this could be kind of a discussion. So there's no problem with, little kids going into the opposite gender bathroom. I mean, once if you're only with one parent. At what age is that not okay to do anymore?
If there's a chance that he would ever have to ask, like, you have to be 100% sure they're okay on their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Granted, I'm not a parent. I'm a big brother. I've got 3 little siblings. I feel like you have to be like, would you trust them with money? Like, hey, here's this, go buy this candy bar and bring me the change. Like, if you don't trust them to do that, then I say just make sure that you have adult supervision on them. And anybody else is going to be like, okay, just like be respectful, give them space. It takes a village to raise a kid, you know?
It does get to the point, though, where, like, they're too old to be in that bathroom. Because sometimes it's, like, super awkward, because, like, all these little... Because, like, sometimes it's a mom, and she's got, like, 3 little boys. It's, like, some of these little boys could probably be going to the restroom together into the guys' one.
Yeah, they can take care of themselves. That's true. If they're in a group, they're a little more capable.
I have another one?
Do I? Not really.
Oh, this is going to be a short one.
I got one.
Okay.
Obviously, make sure your paper towel gets in the trash. I think that's unspoken. Don't litter. Tidy up. Have some common courtesy. If you're going to be LeBron and you're not LeBron, pick it up, toss it in, pick up your rebound.
I feel like there's a lot of, like, unsaid guy ones that everyone knows, but you have not said any of them. Like, stand right next to each other in the urinal. I feel like that's the one that I've heard.
Oh, yeah, but that's so obvious. Like, nobody's that comfortable. Like, nobody does that. I think that's a straw man kind of thing. I like that meme, though. I like that meme where it shows, like, there's, like, 500, like, urinal stalls, and the one guy's all the way at the end, and the guy walks all the way past all of them, and, like, stands next to him, and he's like, I still haven't watched Game of Thrones. And it's like, okay, you're, like, the worst person ever. Or, like, the meme is, like, whatever they say is, like, that changes all the time. It's like, oh, Apple is so much better than Android or something like that. It's like, oh my gosh, you're like the worst and then even more the worst. I like that meme. I think that's a very funny meme.
We have that discussion all the time, Jacob.
Oh yeah, I wasn't actually bringing it up. I'm just saying.
What? Let's do it.
Oh
so Apple's going.
This is exactly you. I didn't even want to. The point is...
You did it. You started it. You started it this time.
I don't care what phone
That's
you
never
have.
happened. You don't ever start it.
I wasn't starting it. It was twice removed. I was saying that starting it is the problem. I wasn't starting it. Anyway, let's stay focused. This is going right down the drain.
So I kind of thought one, and it's weird because we have the lady friend that comes once a month, which is not really a friend for most girls.
I'm not an expert in this subject.
Exactly, which is why we have this. And we have a kind of like unsaid rule not to ever talk about it, but then at the same time, there's like an unsaid rule where you can talk about it. It's not very clear of when it is okay to talk about and it isn't okay to talk about. And so it's kind of like, don't you know you have to be like subtle when using the restroom and you have your friend and you have to use like a pad or a Tampax. It's weird. Jake, on your face, you're like, I don't want to hear any of this. But
I didn't
don't
say
you
anything.
know? How would you like? You're like so awkward. You're like, I don't even want to talk about this. Let's change it. I have one. You're like, I can't discuss this. I don't know what to do.
You're right. You should be subtle.
So yeah, don't you know? I figured, I don't know. I had to add in a female kind of perspective on something.
It definitely hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
It's 100% the
Woman
female
power.
perspective.
woman power.
Oh, goodness. What about... Here's a scenario. You walk in, you're going to wash your hands, you've acknowledged the stranger in there with you, or whatever. You're both done, you go to wash your hands. Your side, you've got 2 sinks, your sink is out of soap. What do you do?
Oh yes. So awkward when it's out of soap and someone else is at the other sink. You do this thing where you wash your hand in the water. Well, this is what I do at least. You wash your hand in the water and you wait until they leave, and then you use the soap.
What if you're there for like 5 minutes?
If it gets too long at that point, then you have to ask if you can use the soap. I've never come across it where they say no.
I've been sitting here rinsing my hands for 5 minutes. Can I please just use your soap? I gotta get back to my meal.
Not 5 minutes, but like after a minute and they haven't, like, you can look to see what they're doing. If they look like they're like fixing their makeup or something like that, and they're gonna be there for a little bit, then of course ask if you can use the soap. But if they look like they're about finishing up, they might be about to get the paper towel and get ready to leave, then it's like, okay, I'm just gonna wait a little bit and continue to rinse my hands and then sneak and get some soap.
Yeah, I tend to use my body language. I'll be like, because you go and you're like, dunk, 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 and there's no soap coming out. You can kind of like shrug, do a big gesture, and be like, oh, it's out. Oh, this restaurant, 4 stars. Yell something in the air, and it's just kind of whatever. And you just kind of wait till they're done. They'll usually try and hurry up or whatever. Here you go for it. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
That's actually a good one. That's that is one of those ones that don't you know that you have to kind of like play the situation, but unless you have to ask for the soap, don't ask for the soap. Don't drop the soap.
Don't drop it. It's an unspoken rule. Then you got hand soap all over the ground in a restaurant.
That is one thing. Like, we're talking about using public bathrooms, but some public bathrooms, like locker rooms and stuff like that, have showers. Is there any unspoken rules for that?
I guess the gym. I used to go to a gym. There's just a curtain. You just go in, close the curtain, change. Kind of standard procedure. That was nothing fancy. I don't really count that bathroom. I guess it is literally where you bathe. It is the room of bathing. I guess it's fair game. Yeah, no, you just throw your stuff behind the shower. That's fine. Cover yourself. You're good to go.
I always find it super awkward, and it's probably just me. I'm just an awkward person. I always find it really awkward when you're in a locker room and you have like people like naked walking around.
Nobody's naked in the gyms that I go to. I've never had that.
Okay, so the only times that this has happened has been with older ladies, and they kind of just like are walking around like shirtless. Don't look this way. I'm not looking that way. Too awkward. Not doing that. I mean, you have the girls who of course will change with the locker room, of course. I go into the stall and change. I am so awkward.
Yeah, I'll change in the locker room. I mean, I'm wearing like underwear and stuff.
Yeah, no, I will go into the locker room and change. I'm too awkward for that. Although,
You just kind of prep your clothes. You just go real fast. You kind of like turn your back a little bit or whatever. It's not that big a deal. No one's really looking.
it's probably something that I wouldn't be big of a deal if, like, maybe I was on a sport and I did that on a regular basis. It wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But for me, it's uncharted territory. I don't do that.
Yeah, I guess we would have to we'd have a locker room in wrestling, so I'm kind of past that, I guess. It's just like, hey, we got like 20 guys that need a change. There's no time to use this stall. Just make it happen. We had things to do.
Yeah, and honestly, I've like always been kind of like an awkward, shy person, and I've gotten out of certain things that have made me awkward or shy. through practice of doing other things.
Yeah,
so,
just unfamiliarity.
Yeah, I was really shy, especially with talking to people, and I kind of got over that when I was moving around a lot. You had to kind of either get over that or you had no friends. Hence, when I was in college, I talked to everyone.
Yeah.
And I knew a lot of people. My friends used to say they couldn't take me anywhere because I'd always be saying hi to someone. It's well, I mean, they're from this class. Now, of course, I haven't had to do that since college, and so now I'm awkward again, meeting people.
Yeah, that's alright. That's what internet gaming is for.
I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing, don't you know? I don't even know the social rules.
That's what I've been saying. You invited me. I'm like, psh.
We don't know them. We're just guessing.
Talking about unspoken rules for MMOs. Don't kill, steal. Don't pick up loot that's not yours. Don't scam people.
Shh, we're gonna do one for video games. You're ruining them. Now we only have one.
Oh, I got billions.
Well, that would be a fun one. I was thinking about doing video games this episode, but I decided I wanted to think a little bit more about what ones I want to say.
Yeah, and we talk about toilets instead.
Yeah, I said let's talk about toilets. Let's get that over with. I have a couple more for transportation, but I feel like we've done a lot of transportation, so I wanted to get a little bit of a break from that. And do toilets. Sitting down instead of moving.
What about if there's let's say you're out at someplace there's a line for the bathroom. It's a busy place, and there's all the stalls are taken, and there's a line going out the door. How do you queue up? Surely you don't talk to the other people, do you?
Not normally. I don't. I mean, if I'm going to talk to anyone in the bathroom, it's going to be more along the lines of in the line to go use the stall. Usually if I'm going to talk to anyone, it's going to be in the line. Other than maybe saying, "Hey, can I use the soap?"
Right.
And this was actually a big thing that happens a lot. There's always lines for the girls' bathroom, and then you look over to the guys right next door, and there's no line. You're I hate you guys all.
Have you ever been to a bathroom where there's a bathroom attendant that you're expected to tip?
No, I haven't, and I'm glad because I don't carry cash, so I would not be tipping them.
That's a tough
situation. And I would feel very bad.
Yeah.
Because I always tip.
Pretty nice. They usually keep the bathroom pretty tidy.
I think that's partially why there's always one of the reasons why girls' bathrooms are always so long is because half the time a lot of the stalls aren't working, and that's because unless the girls are really gross, you would think that it'd be the guys' bathrooms that are really gross. It's not. It's the girls.
No, we're in and out. We're simple.
Yeah, because they put too much toilet paper in the toilet, clog it up, or they're flushing things they shouldn't be flushing down the toilet. They have a sign that says "Don't flush feminine products down the toilet," and they do it anyways. And then they don't put it in the trash. Don't you know you're supposed to put it in the trash?
Put it in the bin, the treasure chest.
I know that's really gross, but that's the point. Girls' bathrooms are sometimes really gross. It's what do you do?
I used to work at restaurants.
Oh, okay.
I had to clean stuff.
Yeah, and you saw how much the girls' bathrooms are grosser.
General consensus across waiters was that that was the case. Waiters and waitresses.
Yeah, it's nasty. So it's man, you hear all those oh, guys are gross, guys don't do this, blah 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 blah. And it's well, if you go into the bathroom, you realize girls are really the grosser one of the two. That's just because the guys don't spend a lot of time in the bathroom.
Nope, busy doing other things.
Alright, I have one.
Alright.
So, I don't know, maybe it's just I found out. I've always done this and I always thought it was kind of weird that I did it, and then I found out that Frankie does the same thing, and I think my mom does too. And this is something that we all talked about and decided this is what we'll do. So, before getting into the shower. Okay, so I guess this is kind of a two-parter. So, do you use the restroom before you take a shower or after you take a shower?
Specifically before, because then you clean off.
Yes. Same here. I use the restroom before. No matter what, I always go pee before I before a shower. Okay, so here's the question then. Since you said yes. Do you flush the toilet before or after you take your shower?
Before.
You do it before? See, I do it after.
Why? I never heard of that before.
Why? Yeah, and all my family does it. Well, some of it's because we've had old pipes, so if you flush the toilet before you hop into the shower, then the water gets cold.
Oh, I don't know. I got enough big enough heater. Plus, that fills with cold water. It doesn't fill with hot water. That'd be gross.
I don't know. It just makes the water in the old house we used to be in. It used to make the water turn cold if you flush the toilet.
Uh-huh.
And it used to do the same thing here at this house, but our uncle had to rework the water pipes because there was a pipe that burst somewhere underneath the floorboard. So because we could feel the floorboards being hot, so we knew something burst. So they rerun all the pipes through the walls and up and down. So now when you flush the toilet, it doesn't make the shower temperature go really hot or really cold. But that was so I've always have flushed the toilet after the shower. But also part of it's because with me having really, really long hair, I tried to stop the hair from going down the drain.
Oh, yeah.
I put it into the toilet and flush it all.
I see. It's not an issue for me.
Yeah. But see, my brother does it too, though. He flushes the toilet after he's taken a shower.
Huh.
Yeah. And my mom does it too. And like I said, it might be because we all were in the old house and it used to make the water cold if he would. I mean, it wouldn't stay cold, but it will have that moment where it's cold.
Oh, yeah. See, I've never been in a house that has that, because that's always the thing you hear at, like, either it gets really cold or it gets really hot, depending on your pipes.
Yeah, it depends on the pipe. So that's like, yeah, so that was always an issue. So, but I just kind of thought it was weird because, like, I don't remember what we were doing. We were talking about it, and that's how we ended up talking about how we don't flush the toilet. We all use the restroom before we take a shower and flush the toilet after we finish shower. It's like, I wonder if that's just like a thing that everyone does then. But I guess not. I guess it's just a thing for everyone to use the bathroom before taking a shower. But it varies about when someone will flush the toilet.
I saw a meme, they said that, like, when you wash your car and then it rains, because when you drive through and it gets all the mud and the dirt all over your car and then it stays, they say that's like having to go to the bathroom after a shower. It's like, I'm all clean, no.
That always happened to my mom. She used to always, like, every time she would go and get her car washed in Georgia, it would rain that day. Because it, like, has pop-up showers all the time in Georgia. You never know when it's going to, like, truly rain.
Hey, I'm from Florida. They say if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes.
There was a couple of times when we were on Mercer's campus, we got stuck across campus when it was raining.
Oh, yeah. You're just like, how could this happen to me?
I remember one of the times it was me, Lindsay, I don't know if it was Chris, I don't think Kristen was with us. Maybe she was. And maybe Sasha, maybe Ashley. We were at the, what was it called? The Student Center? No, it wasn't the Student Center. It was the one on the big top of the hill. You remember?
The Student Center.
Was it the Student Center?
Yeah, Connell Student Center.
I thought the Student Center was the one that was where the cafeteria was at.
You're right. It's the University Center.
Okay, then. Okay, University Center. So, we were up there. I think we had just finished eating, I believe, from Chick-fil-A there. Or we were doing something in that cafe area.
So it was not a Sunday.
Yeah. And we go to leave, and all of a sudden it starts pouring. And so we went back inside, and we kind of sat around for a little bit, because we're like, oh, it's Georgia. It'll probably will stop. It doesn't usually, like, pour for a really, really long time. It poured for a really, really long time. And so after a while, they were like, okay, do we really want to wait here until it finally stops? Or are we just going to go out into the rain and go? And it was our senior year, because we were in the lofts. So imagine from the University Center all the way to the lofts.
Yeah, you get to your bike and you just quickly just hop on there and hump it down the side.
Isn't that what kind of hurt, though? I've heard that when you go too fast, like when you're on a bike or a motorcycle and it's raining, it hurts.
Yeah, but not that bad. You just hunker down. There's a way to do it. It's as if you're doing like 60.
So we decided we were going to make a run for it because we didn't want to wait any longer. We'd already been waiting for like I think 15 minutes, and it hadn't slowed down even a little bit, and it looked still pretty dark outside.
Dang.
We made a run for it, and half of us were in flip flops, and
wow.
We should have just walked, but we ran anyways, and we were all afraid of slipping. We had people in flip flops, and we were soaked by the time we got back to the lofts. And you know what? After we got back to the lofts, it ended up stopped raining pretty soon after that. We were kind of upset about that. Like, if we had waited another 15 minutes, but that would have been another 15 minutes. We would have waited 30 minutes for it to finally stop raining, though.
Anybody got time for that?
Yeah. I remember our freshman year. We were going across campus to Frank Carr's, the wings place.
Yeah.
And remember where the freshman girls' dorm was. And we were walking down that one road. What road was that? McCullen?
Coleman Ave.
Yeah, Coleman. And I'm in a yellow shirt, and one of my friends is in a white shirt. And we're walking, and about halfway to the girls' dorm, it just poured. And so we ended up running, and by the time we got to the dorms, my shirt was see-through, my other friend's shirt was see-through.
And you all got your wings for free.
No, this was all the way back from our
Oh, I see.
Having gone our wings. But I was like, of course. Like, this is a yellow shirt, and it still ended up see-through. What the heck?
They know the weather like weeks in advance. You can just check the weather.
It was a pop-up storm. It wasn't supposed to rain that day.
Oh, I see. Fair enough.
So that happens a lot in Georgia. And this happens all the time. We've eventually learned that if one of our friends, Candace, if she wore a white shirt, it was going to rain. Like, even if it did not call for rain, it was going to rain. Because it always seemed to rain when she had a white shirt on. And she'd be like, I checked the weather. It said it wasn't going to rain. And it rained.
The struggle is real.
Yeah. Anyways, that was my last little thing for public bathroom. I don't know if you remembered your one, or come up with a new discussion.
No, not really. I got one. I heard a joke. So they say that this is more a commentary on sharing your feelings, I think, than public bathrooms, but they said that if a girl walks into a bathroom and sees another girl crying, whether she knows her or not, she can walk up and be like, oh, I hope you're okay, I hope you're fine, I'm gonna help you get through this, here's my number, here's my girlfriend's number, we're gonna help you, you'll be okay. Guy walks into a bathroom, sees another guy crying, he turns right back around, walks right out the door. I'd say, yeah, that's pretty true. Stereotype or not, I think I'd pretend I didn't open the door. If he saw me, sorry man, I hope you're okay. Maybe one day I'll be broken down crying in a bathroom and I would just want to be left alone. Honestly, just let me have this.
I'm the same way. I don't cry very often. So if I ended up crying in public, I would have to be I would be really, really upset. I can't ever see myself crying in public, because I locked that out tight. I won't cry until I got home. But if I was crying, something had to really, really be bad, and I would want to be left alone, which makes me awkward when I try to comfort people, because for me personally, if I'm crying, I want to be left alone. So it's super hard if someone wants comfort for me, because I don't know how to comfort you. I don't even want people to comfort me, so how am I supposed to comfort you?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Don't you know, when someone's crying, leave them alone.
That's not always true, though. Some people need that. I guess it's...
Yeah, you're right. They do. I don't know. I think there comes a point, there's a certain, spot when you're crying that you want to be left alone, and then once you're, towards the end of crying or whatever, that's when you want someone to, comfort you. But not at the very beginning when you're crying.
I'm not an expert in this subject.
Not either. I don't cry. I removed those tear ducts years ago.
I don't remember how.
I don't know what it feels like to be sad.
I just get angry. I saw a meme. It was so funny. It was it shows something. It was a guy and he had a mask on his face. That said anger. He's running around just really angry. And so he goes, hey, stop. And he pulls the mask and underneath it says sadness. And he's just crying. And he's like, let's just put that mask back on. It's pretty funny. I wish I knew who A, made the joke I told, and then B, made the comic I just told. I'd love to share, but I don't remember. I'm sorry. They're both very funny. Salute to you.
Okay, well, I'm done.
Yeah, I think I'm all set too. What a enlightening episode.
So, everyone, thank you for joining us, and I hope you guys like this. I hope there's a couple of them that you're like, yeah, that's totally true, because me and Jacob are both apparently do not know these rules ourselves, and these are just ones we made up ourselves.
Maybe you're going to spitefully break them all just to put a middle finger up to the world, and if that's your style, hey, I just hope you're not in my city.
Don't be in the same bathroom as me.
Yeah, hopefully not.
So come on, just, we have an email. Our email is don'tyouknowpod@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Twitter, don'tyouknowpod, and send us a tweet, send us an email, contact us in any way, let us know, hey, those are totally not true, I can't believe you said them, or yeah, I totally agree, or even say some that maybe are yours, don't you know, and we can even add them, have a little section where we will say, hey, for my last episode, we had a couple of other people who have suggested that these are some of the rules that they have. So follow us. Don't forget to follow us. And check out every Monday. Hopefully every Monday we'll be having a new episode.
We could have a spin-off series called Don't You Know You Were Wrong? And we'll just correct everything we said that was dumb or stupid. It'd be a long episode. It'd be longer than the original series.
Don't you know, me and Jacob are completely wrong. So, and I hope you guys have a good weekend, or week, so we'll be on Monday.
Yep. And weekend following.
And look out for our special guest next week.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Later.
See you guys. Peace out.